Are you on? You got cool. Ooh.
She lie and steal, she beg you from her knees, make you think she needs it this time. She'll tear a hole in you, the one you can't repair. But I still love her, I don't really care. When we were young, oh, we didn't know when it got cold. Ooh, you burned it up. I can't be told. I can't be done. It's better to feel pain than nothing else. The opposite of love's indifference. So pay attention now. I'm standing on your porch, screaming it out. And I won't leave until we come downstairs. So keep your head up. Oh, head up. Oh, head up. And I don't know. I would do the same thing. I wish I'd say what's wrong. But I don't really
You hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me try to get. All right, there we go. I don't know what happened.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on
I don't know. Are you on your phone or your computer?
on my computer.
Sometimes it's the cookies and it takes a
Okay.
minute. You don't use Zoom on a daily, huh?
What'd you say?
You use Zoom on a daily?
I don't. No, I don't. I have it on here for like school stuff, but we never use it.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
What's up, man? How can I help you?
Nothing much. Yeah, I just had a few things that I was like thinking about, and I just want to kind of like pick your brain because I mean, like you were saying, like try to gain knowledge from people who already are doing kind of what you not want to do, but are successful in like a field of or like a different branch of what you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of want to just start it with like schooling stuff because like I know Andres has told me that you're not like super big on like school or anything like that. So I wanted to kind of like understand from your standpoint what you think about, especially with my situation. Like I've done 3-4 years of a totally different field. Like I have no knowledge of anything like
Yeah.
business finance, business management, business anything. And I know you're saying like, hey, like go network, go like to these events and stuff, but like what do you think is the best way to still like gain that knowledge of like how to manage a business, like what the like all those different things that come with like trying to start it up and not having the school background from it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I still think college is great in a certain shape or form, because I mean, you guys met through college, right? So that's what college will give you. College will give you experiences and connections. That's it. Enjoy your 4 years of that. Although, if you do want to become a lawyer or you want to become a doctor, I mean, you kind of sort of need it for
Yeah.
12, 15 to 20 years, right? My mom's a doctor herself, so I know how that looks like, the career path. So I know that there's certain careers that you need it for, but let's say, I've always say decide the person that you want to become, and then let that person take the decisions that you're gonna take for the next 5 to 10 years. So you decide that person and then you work backwards instead of like going into a career and then kind of like in the middle of the career deciding what you want to do. That's what
Yeah.
most people do. They're in the middle of college, year two. Oh, okay, I'm in business. I'm gonna be a finance bro. Oh, I'm in business. I'll be international business. Like they just kind of decide as they go instead of deciding first and then working backwards, which is easier, right? You start with the end in mind. It's the most important part of it. So, starting with the end in mind, my question for you would be, who do you want to be when you're 40 years old?
Sorry, I was right. I'm just writing some stuff
Yeah,
down.
yeah, you're good.
Me, whenever I'm 40 years old, career wise or personal life,
Everything.
I just want to be someone who's first of all financially free,
Uh-huh.
um, and like just personally free. Like I want to be able to go where I want to go, do what I want to do, um, like be there for my kids,
Mhm.
um, and not like have that burden of, oh, like I gotta get up in the morning at 5 a.m. Like go to work, gotta be there till 8. Like
How many kids do you want?
I want
Two? Okay.
2 boys, a wife, good Christian family.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, I want to be hope God, like God willing, my parents are still alive. I want to be like able to help them out if they,
Mhm.
if they're still around. My brother as well.
Mhm. Where do you want to live?
I want to live in Florida.
Okay.
That's where home is. So I want to try to get back there.
Next to
But
the beach or in a neighborhood?
yeah, yeah, I want to be in like the Fort Lauderdale area,
Okay.
like not
Fort
that much.
Lauderdale.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool. All
but
right.
so whatever, or I mean, I would live wherever, but that's ideal. Like wherever connections or relationships bring me. I mean,
Mhm.
that's not like God's plan, but that's my goal is to live somewhere nice.
Well, the thing is to have an idea of who you want to become, right? So the more specific you can get, the better.
Yeah.
Like I'll start looking at houses in Florida, exactly in Fort Lauderdale, in the neighborhood that you wanted, seeing at prices and see how much there will be in 15 years, 10 years, and kind of like seeing it already happening. Because
Mhm.
in your mind, it has to happen here first for it to happen in the physical world. Things happen twice in the physical and in your mind and then in the physical world. So you gotta build a plan in your mind so that way you can follow through, in a day-to-day basis. And you're not gonna take leaps. You're gonna take 1 foot. You're not even gonna take steps. You're gonna do 1 foot in front of the other.
Mhm.
And that's what people don't like. Like most people are making progress, but they just stop because it doesn't feel like progress when you're just putting 1 foot in front of the other. I mean, maybe 4 steps will look like one, but consistent work is what gets it done. So let's say you're in college right now. So I mean, what you're doing already, which is already connecting with people, is already what's guiding you there, right? You're coming in contact with Andres. You got other people that got people in their network that can connect you, can connect the dots for you. So you're already doing the work in a certain shape or form. Now is okay, how can I start the journey into not just taking one foot in front of the other, but taking steps towards it. And then once you take steps, you take strides. Then after strides, you start fucking running, and then you got running partners with you. So the career that you're at right now, do you feel in 10 years is gonna take you closer to that you mentioned?
Uh, Not necessarily. I mean, like
Mhm.
it's something that I've been talking to my parents about it. Like they're like, just be sure like whatever you do is gonna be risky, whatever. But like I told them, I mean, I still could see myself helping people out in the medical field, but I don't know if I get in the medical field, I'm 100 plus thousand dollars in debt. Um, and 3 years into or 3 years like for schooling, I get out. I don't really know how much longer I would want to do that. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, I just wasted. Now I owe the government 100 something thousand dollars. Now I
Okay.
wasted 3 years of my life. So
How,
that's
how
kind
many years into it are you right
of
now?
that's where I'm at. Like I feel like I would be helpful in that field, but I don't know if I'm gonna be in that field long enough for me to pursue that
How
career.
many years are you into it already?
Well, right now I mean, I'm just doing school right now, obviously, so I haven't worked at all, but I mean, I've did 3 years of biochemistry and a year of exercise science and kinesiology. I
Gotcha.
mean, I work at a hospital, but like barely. I work there like 3 shifts every 6 weeks just for like experience.
Uh-huh.
But more so for me, it's gonna be like the PA school, like the grad school stuff. Like that's a big like investment in myself, and it's super time consuming and financially consuming. So
Yeah.
that's like the thing where like whenever I'm outweighing pros and cons, or even trying to like lay down a like a timeline, or like a just trying to lay down what I want to do. That's
How
like a
long would
huge
it take you to get out of school?
take me 3 years.
3 years and you'll be how old?
I'll be like 26.
And then how much money does that bracket pays?
It's I mean depending where, but it starts 90 to 100, or if
Okay,
you're
cool.
traveling it's like 120, 130.
Okay, and then what's the max that you can do in a year when you're
It's it depends. I mean mostly on experience, but
okay?
uh fresh out probably that
What
130
about
area.
10 years in?
Like two,
200? Okay.
two, yeah,
You make that your first year in business.
yeah. So,
And I think you'll enjoy that way better just by, I mean, we have talked 3 times already.
mhm.
So I think you'll enjoy that better than what you're doing. Because look, when people don't like what they're doing, they look for excuses. And then when people like what they're doing, they look for reasons.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? There's 100 reasons why I shouldn't be in business. There's 100 excuses why I shouldn't be in business today. But
Mhm.
one reason is enough to stay in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if you already feel that way, but I can kind of still see that you enjoy it though, because
yeah.
you've been in it so long. I'll say you have a lot of confidence in what you can accomplish in the medical field because you have done it for 3 years now, 2 years now, and you go to a hospital, like you feel competent on it.
Mhm.
And what feels competent to us makes us feel good, right? Like, oh, we're useful. So what I'll recommend to you, summer's about to come in, go into a sales job and go at it for 3 months.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, you will know exactly what you're made of.
And
Like I always say, 1 week in sales is 1 month in any other career. And 1 month is 1 year. Because
yeah,
you learn so much. You know
I
what I
reached out to Andreas about it. I'm actually supposed to talk to his boss at 2,
Yeah.
um, to see if I can get a job over there. But yeah, he tells me how like that it's not like easy. Like a lot of people go into it, be like, oh, I want to do this, and then
So look, I'll tell you this. It's not easy, but it's
Mhm.
simple.
Yeah,
Okay. As long as you don't complicate things. So it's not easy, but simple. But if you make it complicated, then it's going to be hard.
yeah,
But once you're given the pitch, memorize the pitch word by word. That's gonna take you. I mean, I was in sales before I opened up my company for 4 years.
mhm,
So that was one thing that helped me a ton because it was easy to train others and it was easy to train myself because I was saying the same thing over and over again. I didn't have to think, I just had to do. So I popped 4 to 5 sales a day, no problem. Like I still got the pictures. I'm looking through the albums, because we'll take pictures for customers. 4 to 5 sales a day, saying the same thing over and over again. By week 3, I was a master because I knocked 50 to 100 doors saying the same thing. How wouldn't I memorize it? It's
yeah.
impossible. So repetition won't create perfection, but it will create permanence.
And is it like I want to know, like with sales, is it a lot of like read and react, even like after you like do your pitches, it like read and react from there? You kind of still have stuff that you know like to go back to.
Um, like are you talking about reading and reacting towards
Say
situations based on what you know about human behavior or what?
like say they like say you pitch your pitch, um and they're talking about whatever, I mean, or say they object. Do you have a go-to answer if they object, or you kind of just read the
100%.
situation? Okay,
100%.
so it's
It's everything's systematic. You just gotta be you through the system. Because if there's a system, I can teach it. If there's no system, then I'm the person, I'm the gifted one. So nobody can do it like me.
gotcha.
Nobody can do it like me. Guess what? You're never gonna have employees. And if you never have employees, you're never gonna have a business. You're gonna have you have hired yourself to a fancy job that you get to put your name on it, but you're still an employee, but for your own self. So that won't take you to 40 years old, house in Florida, free, financially free, time free, doing whatever I want, 2 kids, one wife, Christian family. It won't take you there because you'll stay in the business working. Because if not, the business will die. You see how planning that like will pretty much help you take decisions now. Because now what you're gonna remember when you get the pitch is I gotta say it word by word, so I'm able to build a team. Because with a team, I have a business. Without a team, you've met those guys, like uh the one-on guys, like they're like lone wolf kind of deal. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I kill everybody. I don't need a team. That's stupid. You're gonna get annihilated. There's people out there that have people just like me and you, competent, working with 30 people that are more competent than them, just because they do have a team. I know people that never graduated college that have Harvard students working for them. That's building a team. You know, I didn't go to Harvard, but I do have people that work for me for Harvard. That's a flex. You know what I mean? And that will tell you everything you need to know about college too. College is the guideline. It's a good guideline to like make you go on a schedule, make sure you're on time. It pulls a little bit of discipline on you. But I mean, it breaks you a lot of bad habits too. Going out all the time, partying, drinking, and then you carry those habits within your adult life. And you realize you fucked up till like 38. And by that time, it's too hard to start a business. It's too hard to like take risks. There's kids in the picture. There's a wife that's expecting. There's too many things. You guys, we're in the best spot in our lives because right now we can take risk and nobody will be affected other than us. But what really of a hit can we take? I either win or I learn, but I win at the end because both are good. So I would say that go into this sales job thinking about the life that you want. And I know that the life that you want can only be acquired by learning how to build a business. And how to build a business is systematically built upon building a team. So what I will do is talk to Andres's Hobbs, and ask her like, hey, how did you build this business? When did you start it? How do you train better? What are the kind of recruits that you look for? What are the green flags that you look on resumes? What does the best, what's the difference between the best and the rest? What have you seen works while training with fresh new people? What works for training guys? What works for training girls? What's the conversion rate of the people that walk into the doors and the people that stay and the people that leave? Has anybody left the company and opened up a successful business? If yes, why is the reason for your answer? If no, why is the reason for your answer too? Why has nobody left and opened up a successful business? Or why have somebody left and opened up a successful business? What are the growing pains that took you from 1 office to 3 offices? When was the first time you had a big win as a sales rep? When was the first time you had a big win as a sales leader? When was the first time you had a big win as a business owner? So there's 3 different levels. My first win as a salesperson was selling a box of paper and a membership for $20 on my first door in my first day. That was my first win. Okay. That was like $70 in commission. My first win as a sales leader was promoting 5 people almost in the same week that I taught how to sell. Different kind of win. And my biggest win as a business owner is building a business that produced last year $2.2 million in revenue. So you see, I go from a box of paper and a membership to building up a business with 30 employees. It's different wins. And then the questions are in between the leaps. So it's like, okay, so what took you from a sales rep to a sales leader? Oh, well, I learned that if you use a system and you repeatedly enforce the system, you reinforce that, and behavior that's reinforced is repeated, and repeated behavior gives you repeated results. And as long as those results are good, then you gotta pile up momentum. Once you got momentum, you can include people on the pot, and then they will go with you instead of against you. So I learned how to team build. That was my biggest learning lesson from a sales leader to from a sales rep to a sales leader. And then from a sales leader to a business owner, I learned leadership. It's not the same as teaching people how to sell. You gotta hire them first. First, you gotta recruit them. Like they gotta want to work for you. Then you gotta hire them. Then you gotta train them. And then that's the gap. Most people hire, recruit, train, give you the manual, and once you're competent enough, they leave you alone. 90% of companies don't develop their employees. So that's what will take you from a sales leader to a business owner. Development. Because this piece, most companies don't offer. And that's why people leave. They just keep training the same shit instead of developing the employee in the job. So the employee ends up getting a job, not a career. So a job is there to pay your bills, and a career is there to build your life.
Yeah.
Two different things. So if you ask me, that's the difference between the leaps. But you can ask her, and you can learn there. And you're gonna see her on a day-to-day. You're gonna see what time she walks in the office, what time she does her numbers, when does she does payroll. And the biggest thing you gotta do is ask the questions and be a student.
Mhm.
Nobody has had any level of success can resist to a student mentality. Nobody, because they see themselves in you in some shape or form. And once you're successful and you know you can get it, all of a sudden you become selfless. You just want to help others, because that's in your DNA too. If you're really successful, you know you're gonna be successful by helping the most amount of people, because you do that on a daily basis, developing people. So I think doing that step that you're gonna do about working in a sales job, I mean, you're gonna be there all summer. It's enough for you to decide whether you want to take this life or not.
Okay. Cool.
2 weeks in, you will know. Ask Andres. If
Yeah.
2 weeks in, he didn't know.
Hmm.
It's brutal. It's simple, like I said, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And it's a shock because we're not used to that. We're used to clocking in, clocking out, getting paid. We're not used to like going and hunt and then getting what we hunt and eating what we hunt. And you know what? That is our true nature as humans. They just took that out of us by putting us on jobs and working 9 to 5 and making us work a clock instead of working our potential.
Yeah.
So gonna have to fight generations of people that decided to take the easy walk.
Yeah.
And just you know do the different paths so you can have a different path than your parents did. You know, not better or worse, just different.
I'm here for it. All right, my next thing was kind of like, because I'm talking about all this with like my parents and other people and stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's super risky. Like, I think I wrote down here, they're talking about how many times people open businesses and they fail, whatever. And like, I kind of just wanted to, like, and I'm sure that's true to an extent. Like, I'm sure a lot of people open businesses and they end up failing, but I kind of want to know, like, why is there like a reason why that happens that you can avoid or you have avoided, compared to other people who have been through that?
Be obsessed or be average. Second page of the book says 60% of businesses in America go out of business in the first 6 months. The reason is because they don't sell their products quick enough to be able to stay in business in quantities enough to be able to stay in business. So what's the number one skill that you gotta acquire before opening up a business? Selling. That's it. People going to open up a business knowing about their product, not about selling the product. The best known product beats the best product. Best known beats best product.
That's known.
Beats best product. Netflix is not the best in the market. I actually like more Paramount. It's like better quality, but you see Netflix in every street.
Mhm.
Spotify is not the best in the game. In my opinion, YouTube has a lot on it because it's live performances, but you see Spotify everywhere. Right? So best known beats best product. So the more reason why businesses go out of business in the first 6 months, 60% of businesses go out of business in the first 6 months, it's because they don't sell their products quick enough to be able to stay in business, to make payroll, make rent, and then quantities enough to be able to stay in business. So that's the reason why. So the reason is selling, not that there's a lack of the need, is selling. So master selling, and you will reduce your failure rate by 60%.
60% the first 6 months.
60%. Most people don't know this and they go into the business blindfolded and they get chewed up. It's like sending Andres right now without knowing the pitch. He's gonna get chewed up at the doors, like completely blasted. Same.
Is there so that's like the main reason you would say not selling quick enough and not selling quantity.
If I would have not done 3 years of sales before opening up the cleaning company, would have gone broke, completely, entirely broke.
Gotcha.
My first day in business, I got 6 customers. My average sell price was 180. So do the math. That's $1,000 in one day, my first day in business. Sold. More.
And in sales or whenever
Clean.
you open.
Cleaning. Because I had 3 years of experience in my back. I knew exactly how to build a pitch. I knew it all in that sense, as much as I could know. But I'm still learning things, you know what I mean? But in terms of building a pitch and everything, I mastered that because I knew that was gonna take me somewhere. And I just like the science behind it. Like, okay, you can take somebody to point A to point Z, and you have just met them. So I just love that. And then you can apply that to anything. It's funny because we were doing an exercise yesterday in which I was changing product. I was like, okay, let's say if I sell water and I try to do the same pitch that I do for cleaning for selling water, and it's the same.
Still works.
Just the product changes. The system's still the same. Introduction, presentation, close. That's it.
So you wouldn't say like, my dad he was like, yeah, say you, say you like go through with whatever you want to go through, and you invest like whatever amount of money to start up, like whatever fails. Would you say that like, the capital you have to start a business, is that like a big reasons for why businesses fail too? Like not enough capital.
100%.
Yeah.
And they got too much capital sometimes.
Too much.
Yeah.
How would that work?
It's interesting. I've always, people always ask me, hey, what should I invest on? What should I invest on? And I'm like, if you're asking me this question, you're not incapable of investing right now. You're not ready to invest. You know why? Because if you're asking me that question, it means that you haven't invested enough money in yourself. Because if you had, you wouldn't be asking me that question. You knew exactly where to put it.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? So if
Yeah.
somebody hasn't invested in his personal development, he's not going to know the markets. He's not going to know what works. He's not going to know about demands. He's not going to know about growing industries. If he's not reading, if he's not developing himself, he's not going to know anything about that. So that's why everyone's asking, what should I do? What should I invest? Crypto, and they get blasted because they know nothing about the industry. They just throw money around. If, in my opinion, if I were you and I'll be your age, if a business needs more than $5,000 to start, it's not worth it because it's too much risk. This is what people do. They open up a makeup company and they get a warehouse, they get a logo, they get a website, they get a secretary, they get an office, they get a rug, furniture, they get 2 employees, they buy all this stuff and they make it pretty. They paint the office. They buy a car with the logo of the company. Then they paid ads, and then they buy a computer, they buy a camera, they buy a microphone, they start making content, They're already 100 grand in the hole. They don't even know if the business works. They don't even know if the product, if they can even sell the product. You know, the first day I sold a cleaning service, I didn't even have a vacuum. I bought the vacuums after they said yes. So I needed to see if the product will work. I didn't even have shirts. I went out with a Psycho Bunny shirt to clothe. I was not gonna put $1 to an idea that people wouldn't buy. Because people don't buy it, there's no oil to the machine. And what happens to an engine that doesn't have oil? It gets stuck. So
Yeah.
I'm not buying my product. I already bought it. They gotta buy it. And I gotta see the tendencies. 6 customers in one day. I'm like, I'm gonna kill this. Boom, buy vacuums, $300. And then the next day, I collected $1,000+ bucks. So my first day, second day, $700 positive. And then as the business grew, I was adding things like website, not as I wanted. Not most people say, oh, I want the business to look this way. Can the business afford to look the way that you want it to look? Because you want it to look that way because it has your name on it. So if it has your name on it, work enough so the profits go up and you're able to afford all the extra things that you want to add. I didn't have a social media person till like 3 months in that I already had enough cash to be able to pay it. I grew as the business grew on percentages rather than growing and killing the business, taking money out of business. You know, I showed Andres all my accounts, every single one. The big one I didn't show him, but my personal ones. He sees how my money comes in. So right now I got about 40 grand on the main account. And then from that main account, that's 30%. And then I have another 30%. And then I have another 30%. And they got 2 accounts that's 20%. And that's for my mom and my sister. So 30, 30, 20, 20.
And those are personal or business accounts?
Personal accounts. And then my business accounts, but it comes out of the percentage of my business account.
Yeah.
The 100% comes here, and then I divert 40% to my personal after paying everything. So 40% out of profits. And then from that 40%, it's 100% on that account, right? It goes 30, 30, 20, 20. So you see how I work on percentages and not certain amount of numbers. Most people say, I want to spend $2,000, but they don't know where their numbers are at. So they take $2,000 off of 20 grand. That's 10%. I work off percentages. So if it's if my percentage is 5%, if I just made $500 that week, guess what? I'm just how much? $25.
Yeah.
But if I made 1,000, what? I get $100. If I made 100 grand, guess what? I get 10 grand. But if you work on percentages, you're never gonna lose because it's gonna be evenly distributed throughout all accounts. You don't have to have 5, 6 different bank accounts. I'm just giving you like an idea of how to manage a business so you never run out of cash. That's a problem with businesses. You run out of cash. Like cash is like blood. If you run out of blood, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm a money spender. I know I go out a lot. I buy suits. I like cars. I like to go on trips. So till the quality of the percentages where I want them to be, then I go out and do something. I don't do things because I can. I do things because I earned them. So if I have an idea right now, I'm going to Hawaii, which I had last week. I gotta set a goal in the next 3 weeks, the next 4 weeks. That percentage, let's say 20% of the new income, not the income that I closed last year, they're still giving me income, of the new income, 20% can pay for that trip. And that forces me to move those 3 weeks, right? Forces me to move. And then I take the money out of the 20%. And guess what? I'm still making that money next month. And I'm not spending it anymore. So most businesses are just malmanaged. They don't think like that. They think, oh, we can take a trip because we have a 200 grand in the bank. No, have you earned it? That's why people go out of business. They don't know how to manage their cash. You know why? Because they never were salespeople.
Yeah.
So they never worked under commission. They never worked for a bonus. So they don't see it that way. The best salespeople, the best business owners were master salespeople. Grant Cardone, John Maxwell, master salesman. And then now he does leadership. Steve Covey. Who else? John Warlow, Tim Grover. I mean, that's more like training.
Mm.
The guy that created Toyota. This is a good book.
Toyota way.
The Toyota way. So it explains how Toyota went from the engine of the Toyota came out of a ventilator. So they were creating a ventilator, and they learned how the engine worked, and then they use it on a motorcycle, and then they use it on a car. So it explains how it was engineered from one idea to the other.
Mhm.
So you see, I mean, you convert, right?
Yeah.
I was doing cleaning, then I did remodeling, and now I'm moving to maybe produce, farming, packaging, freight in Missouri.
Like your own business.
Yeah. We're buying a company out of Missouri, but you see how you graduate from one to another. I went from a bracket that paid $210 per service to a bracket that pays a minimum of $5,000 per project, in landscaping. And now, I mean, this leap from one to another, I mean, this company has Walmart as customers and packaging and freight and produce. So you take leaps, but you got to start. And the one thing that I hold to my biggest of advantages and edge is that I know how to sell anything. You can give me a product right now, I got a pitch ready in 30 minutes, I can go sell it. I'll never go broke. We'll never go broke. It's impossible because of what I know now, and not just what I know, but my willingness to take action every day. You can know a lot of things, but if you don't take action, you're fucked. You're better off not knowing anything. So I would say we got 2 minutes left. Go work at that company, learn sales, master it. Once you master sales and you're like the high roller every week, then learn leadership. Learn how to train people, because that's what's going to give you a business. Selling is cool, but it's not it. Because once you make $100,000, no amount of money is better. Not amount of money is going to satisfy more than no amount of 6 figures is going to satisfy till you make 7. I'm telling you, $100,000 is not a lot of money. It's not.
So
It's a dream. It was my dream was 40,000 a year when I first started. Then I made 40,000 in 3 months. And then I made 6 figures, and I was like, how do people live like this? And now I don't understand how people live in 300,000. You see what I mean? You graduate your mind, because then your mind catches up to your reality. Because you were that person all this time. You had this potential on you, but are you gonna be able to take it out of you and put it into the physical world? That's the question. So, and then pro tip, and this is what I did. Get with the best salesperson in the office and be their best friend. Learn everything from them. And then in 2 months, they're gonna be asking you what to do. It happened to me.
Andreas told me that like one of their dudes is like the #1 in the nation. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to see if I can get with him.
Yeah, learn the pitch, not his habits.
Yeah.
If he's the #1 salesperson there, there's a reason why he hasn't gotten promoted.
Yeah.
That was me for a long time. I had the worst habits ever, but I